Now, this illustration deals with dedicated equipment space. We looked at this in Chapter 5. NEC 110.26 is an ed 1 little a. Now, notice the person that's doing the switching there is standing to the side of the switch so that if something happened, he would have his arm and the appropriate PPE. And then again, if we're going to operate and switch under the normal operation conditions of equipment, normal operating equipment, remember we'd go to 70E, NFPA 70E, and we would review table 130.5C as in car. Now, but this person is servicing, repairing, testing, maintaining this switchboards or panel boards and according to NFPA 70B, based upon it being a circuit breaker, fusible disconnect, whatever. But notice there's a 3-foot clearance in front, or and there's no wall. There's not any wall behind that individual. So it's just 3 foot, 6.5 foot walk-in headroom, or the height of the equipment. In the illustration, the height is greater. And notice the clearance shall comply with 110.26E and shall be 6 foot to the roof. Notice that suspended ceiling now is not considered the roof, so it could go there in that 6 foot space and not be considered foreign. And notice it's to the roof, whether it's 6 foot or lower, according to this 110.26E 1A. And then notice in the note 1, I think is some very important information, and it says it used to be 25 foot from the top of that equipment to the roof area. But notice that was in accordance in those days with 384-4 really. And in the 1996 NEC, in the new edition, they come up with a 6 foot rule, and that is for the protection of the equipment where you were entering and maybe exiting with conduits, cables, or whatever. You had room to do that. And then notice sprinkler systems are allowed in there, in that room, air conditioning, duct also, if it was just for that room. But you couldn't bring, say, a water pipe above that equipment. You couldn't bring anything that would be foreign to the room in that equipment. Make note of this, though. If that was a 480, 277 volt service, and you brought a 120, 208 volt pipe and penetrated that 6 foot, a lot of your inspectors will say, no, you can't do that because that 120, 208 is foreign. But you could put a transformer in that 6 foot space in accordance with the NEC loop 450.13 and 450.21 regulating that. But the electrical equipment itself, if it was rated 1,000 volts or less, then you have your section 110.26A through E that has to be complied with, and 110.27A through C for guarding the energized components and conductors have to be applied with. If the voltage is over 1,000 volts, medium voltage or high voltage, 110.34A through F has to be complied with, along with 110.31A and B to guard energized components and conductors. And then, of course, you would wrap up the sections to review 110.32 and 110.33. And if your job is installing equipment, just look at the voltage. And you'd say, well, it's 277, 480. Then in the illustration, the NEC loop, you know where you got to go and what sections to review. If it's over 1,000 volts, which we deal with a lot of medium voltage, like 4160, 2400, electricians do today, some electricians, then you know where to go over 1,000 volts, and there's your sections. So we don't have to know all these sections by heart. Just know how to look up the information that is needed based upon the type of installation that you're making. So this figure 7-10 deals with the dedicated electrical space above the equipment in accordance with 110.26 E as in Ed 1 little a.